Hello there, this is Robocop speaking, and I'm going to show you the ways you can enhance your vBulletin website specifically for gaming, and also a bit of general tips how to improve your vBulletin site as well. So what I have here, as you probably suss out already, is the vBulletin admin control panel, and this is the vBulletin 2 theme from my vBulletin admin control panel because I was used to vBulletin 2 and I feel nostalgic, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so what I've got on the left column is the options for your vBulletin, and there's something not quite right because some of these things contain third-party add-ons and some of them contain the critical parts for the vBulletin that makes my website operate. So before you ask, what do you mean this is not quite right? Well, the thing is, I want to organize my third-party options and keep the primary ones remained here. So how do I do that? Well, I've disabled one of the plugins just to demonstrate in the comparison. Now this third-party add-on I'm going to tell you about is this one, which I've disabled here with the striped letters in that. It's called Enhance ACP, and you'll find this on vBulletin.org here. Now this is actually a very good add-on because it helps you organize your options, and trust me, you would be better with one of those. And to explain why I prefer or recommend using that, I'm just going to go back to my vBulletin here, and I'm actually going to enable this just to show you. Now remember these third parties like V3 Arcade or VB Optimize, all these sort of things. Watch what happens when I enable this plugin back into the screen. It's just loading up. No, there it goes. Now you notice these third-party add-ons have vanished. Well, don't panic because they're not completely gone, all that, in case you're wondering, in case it's redirected to elsewhere. But you notice this one, this is actually a new option that you can go to. So if you just click on that, now you see this is where your third-party add-ons are, and that is quite good because as you can see it keeps your third-party or something that doesn't exist in vBulletin in the package that you get from your vBulletin.com members area or zone. You'll get one of these when you're adding custom add-ons, and along with this very smart add-on here, the Enhance ACP navigation. Now that is quite good, so I recommend you should go for one of those. So I'm just going to go back to the standard navigation. Now the few things I'm going to show you is the referrals. Now these are something kind of like SEO or search engine optimizers. So let me just show you. If you go to options and style and language settings, then go all the way down here. Now when you first install vBulletin 4, preferably vBulletin 4.2.x or better, then you probably won't see one of those. Now these are actually the search engine URLs without the .com and the www prefix and that. And you notice that I've added something like Live, MSN, Bing, Lycos. Now some of these other ones that you may not heard, these are some of the ones you get in China and Russia. These are some of the search engines you would get if you live in Russia and that. And these are the other ones here. So if you want to copy these out, feel free to copy it from here. Let me just write it up for you. It's .google, .live, .msn, .yahoo, .ask, .lycos, .bing, and so on. You get the picture? Well, hope you can see from this video here in case this video's compression's made the image a bit blurry. So anyway, so try this for yourself. Now you may find on websites like VBCEO which costs, so I do not recommend you should hire these sort of things unless you really wanted to increase your traffic or gain more browsers and guests into your website. So I would recommend trying this first of all here. So that's what you do. Then the next thing I'm going to show you is social bookmarking. Now when you get to vBulletin, you'll notice some of the social bookmarks like this that you probably get already, but you probably not get something like Tumblr or Twitter or even Facebook and that, because these are not automatically added on when you get there. So how do you add it on? Because if you do add it on, you'll probably notice that you have to add some kind of HTTP encryption with the tags and that, and you probably don't know how you're going to type. But for Facebook, what I did was I went to vBulletin.com for support, as well as vBulletin.org, which are kind of the same thing, but vBulletin.org is for third-party modifications. So I went into here and I've actually used the search text box here to find the key for the Facebook, and this is what I put in already, and there it is. Now however, before you add this, you also need the icon along with it, because if you just, let me show you here. Now these are some of the bookmarks you will need, and I'm talking about this image here that you won't get provided inside your vBulletin website HTTP or FTP files, the database that you won't get. So I've added these new icons here, and I've added the fresh one for Google Plus, MySpace and Tumblr. You'll probably find that this is very useful, especially if your friends or your family want to share things on their social networks. Then please try this for yourself and add these and see how good that would be for your website, because to tell you the truth, you have to be honest, it's very smart when you think about it. For Tumblr, I'm just going to demonstrate for Tumblr now. However, I cannot guarantee that these links will remain compatible, because sometimes most social network sites change their keys and tags and, you know, alter things that may mess up, and you know these sort of things anyway. So all you need to do is copy the link that you've found in the vBulletin support forums, and don't forget the icons. You'll probably get these icons in vBulletin.org here. You'll find these icons and images in here. So there you go. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is a special firewall and a spam blocker called Spam-O-Matic, if I can find it. Hang on. Now here it is. Now Spam-O-Matic is very useful. Now if I just go to the main form, I'll show you. Now when you install Spam-O-Matic, you'll get something like a statistics like this, and it shows you how many spammers have been denied registration and which spammers are automatically being banned. And these are some of the anti-spam programs and organizations that track down and count which emails and IP addresses are considered spam or not, which is very important, and it has to be properly regulated and maintained. So if I just go to here, it actually shows you some of the information that have your vBulletin status and that. So this one, however, doesn't give you the main option, so the best thing to do is go back to the standard navigation, go to settings, options, go all the way down here until you see something like Spam-O-Matic, Glowhost Spam-O-Matic. There it is. Now that is the main options. You probably won't find this in the custom navigation when you get the enhanced ACP. So there you go. That would show you the options here. So I'm not going to show you too much, but please be careful to be aware of some of the options that may affect your guests from signing up and being blocked out for some strange reason. So I'm not going to show you too much detail on about that. And you can also add in some discriminating words or words that would alienate or make this form look very antisocial, which is not very pleasant or it's not tolerated. So that's the sort of thing you would add here. Remember to use these words wisely in case you ban some words like jewellery, that sort of thing, tonight. That would mix up with some of these words anyway. So that's Spam-O-Matic, and I recommend you should get those. Now the way to find it is go to vBulletin.org and put in Spam-O-Matic. Oh, here it is right here. If you just search here, it will show you where it is. And there it is. Now this is where you download this, but however, now before you get this add-on you must register and sign up to vBulletin.org and make sure that your customer number to your vBulletin license is properly typed up and your email and your customer details that match up with this. And don't worry, vBulletin.org is not like some of these phishing sites that would grab or steal your pieces of information, because this is the official vBulletin modification site, as you can see here, so you don't have to worry about that. And if you're logged in as a guest or not signed up, logged in properly, you won't see these pictures and you won't be able to download these zips or tars or 7-zips, whatever you call it. So make sure that you signed up and read the terms and conditions when you're logged on vBulletin.org, and make sure you don't do anything illegal, because that would not be good. Because otherwise, if you do anything wrong with vBulletin, like for example, now if you bought the vBulletin or upgraded to a branded vBulletin license, you'll get this copyright information down here in the footer. Now however, when you edit the template or the styles, please do not erase this, because the vBulletin team catches you without the branded copyrights, then your vBulletin license will be revoked and your account will be terminated. So please do not do that. So do be careful and stick to the rules. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to show you is some of these third-party add-ons that I've put in as well. So again, I'll need to go to settings because this custom navigation doesn't contain it. The first thing I'm going to show you is advanced registration. Now advanced registration is nothing to do when you're going to sign up. However, it does allow you to invite some of the users by putting down their emails and invite them, just like welcome them as a guest. Now these are the options you would get inside VSA Advanced Registration, and once you install that you'll get something like this underneath your form sub-navigation bar underneath here. If you just click on that, you can put down the name or even the email that you want to invite your friends to, and that is quite useful, especially if your guest cannot log into your vBulletin in case their IPs got blocked, in case something went wrong with your firewall or your Spam-O-Matic, which I mentioned already, that if the options are not properly switched on and maintained, that would actually cause some of your friends to be blocked from signing up and registering. But if you do this, if you have these options like this, then some of these verification or human verification things, like random questions for verification, you can actually disable this. That means you don't need to include the human verification included for your invited friends, which is pretty good, you have to admit, and it's quite clever that anyway. Okay, the other one I'm going to show you is PayPal Donate. Now this is the sort of thing you would find here. This is the VSA donation for your PayPal. And this is useful because, as you probably know already, or know for a fact in the gaming clan or non-profit organisations, that you don't get many income for hiring or hosting this service, because of course this gaming site is a non-profit organisation, and sometimes you need to ask some of your staff or your business partners to chip in just to keep the gaming sites or gaming clans going, but probably not for big organisations like GSPs or Steam, that sort of thing, or EA. So you know what I'm saying. So you can adjust what donations you want to put in, and if I just go to donate now, and if you want to donate, you can choose how many you want to donate, and you can choose which currency you want to put in. So this says 5, 10, 20, 50, which matches up here, and this is quite useful because once you let your guests or your donators donate, you can actually keep track on the log on how money who has been donated. But I'm not going to show you the donations who donated because I'm trying to keep things anonymous and stick to the terms and conditions on privacy. So yeah, you can choose your currency, and this is the currencies you can choose, and there's a wide range of currencies you can use, as well as euros or dollars. You can actually have Canadian dollars as well as Swiss francs, even Danish, etc., and Japanese yen. So it's quite useful, especially which currency your company prefers, and it's quite good. And also you can actually create a user group, like say that you want to add in a donor or VIP. You can actually create a new user group called like VIP, which I put here, and that would confirm if you want to add your user to none or not. But if you don't, you can just disable and just ignore the rest, which is pretty smart, as you probably would admit anyway. And the other thing I'm going to show you is Inactive Reminders. That is when your members or your staff go AWOL or AFK or MIA for too long, and this is a very good tool because it will allow you to send emails to remind them if they're going to log in or not, or if they've forgotten. Now this is quite good, but however, I recommend that you do not use this tool to nag or spam your members telling them to get back to the website or that, because that wouldn't be right, because that would be kind of over demanding and not very pleasant. So in order to do this, make sure that the maximum email sent is not unlimited in order to stop pestering your members too often. That would make them feel uncomfortable. So if you look at these settings, you can actually try this out for yourself and see what it's like. And this is how many days that you want to trigger your email that is registered to the config PHP with your email included inside your vBulletin data files. So this is 45 days that I put in to allow my website to trigger and send the email to remind them that why they've gone inactive. So there you go. Anyway, so this is quite a good tool. Now I'm going to show you some advanced tools this time. So if I just go to the portal page, this icon here, now this is the main index of my website here. Now what you notice is that you don't see any of the forms or bulletin boards or the categories here. Now this is actually a portal page, and I got this from vBadvanced. Now this is called CMPS, also known as the Content Management Portal System, and this is what it looks like if I click on here. Now also the same thing applies. If you want to download this, you have to sign up and make sure that your customer number matches up, which is pretty similar when you sign up vBulletin.org over here. And this is what it looks like here. And you'll get the site navigation, the login, even have your favourite pose or your current pose that you want anyway, and calendar. And it's pretty handy, to tell you the truth. When you agree, I mean, it keeps your site looking very well organised, which what I have right here. Now, some of these navigation or boxes are third party because I've downloaded some of the third party modules from vBadvanced as well, and you probably won't see some of these as features in here anyway. So try it for yourself. Now the tool is called CMPS from vBadvanced, and this is where you can find it here, which is that one here. So the good thing is that it's free, which is very good indeed, because some of the other products in vBadvanced are not free, because as you can see some of these cost, so you have to be very careful which add-on that you're committed to get. Anyway, so just going to go back to here, and the next thing I'm going to show you is ads. Now the thing about ads that you can gain revenue like Google AdSense, skim links or post release. Now this website is not using Google AdSense because I decided to choose skim links. Now the problem is, when you're using AdSense, you must be just go back a bit. Now this is the information I'm going to show you about learning about the policies of using Google and YouTube AdSense and monetization for gaining revenues, because there are some steps you need to be aware of, and I'm going to read out to you here. It says, don't upload videos from your YouTube that doesn't truly belong to you, is not credited for monetizing. That's also for YouTube. But the thing about using AdSense for your website is, the rule is, do not click on your ads repeatedly or encourage your friends or your players or members to do it too often, or make a text and encourage them to do it, because otherwise you'll lose your partnership and your AdSense will be disabled, and I cannot guarantee that you probably will reinstate or appeal to get your AdSense account reinstated and back on. So please be careful when you're using AdSense, because otherwise you'll lose your partnership and you won't be able to gain revenue. And the third thing is, also try not to upload or display any inappropriate or adult material videos or ads as well. So that's one thing you need to be careful. Now the reason why I've chosen skim links, not because of the rules that are too restrictive, even though you don't get much revenues, but the good thing is you can actually, this is skim links here, it actually skims some of the words that are relevant to the topic. Say for example, say if there's something about Game Boy guides, like how to clean your Game Boy or keep your Game Boy games well backed up by using third-party tools, those or hacks. So these are my Game Boy tips, like backing up your Pokemon, which remember there. Now you notice this is underlined. This is caused by skim words, which is part of the skim links. And the good thing is, now this is not, oh there it is, it's working now. It shows you some of the Game Boy that you get in these online retail stores, which is pretty amazing, like the Game Boy Micro or your Game Boy case for your iPhone 4, even though it's not very relevant for the Game Boy actual handheld console itself, but it's pretty good. And if you look here, it also does the same thing on the banners as well. So what do you think of that? Quite clever, that. So if you want to try skim links, do feel free, but if you want to use AdSense for more revenues, please be careful not to break the terms and conditions. Now you may notice some other things as well, like downloads and arcades and stats. These are no ordinary shortcuts, because if I click on downloads, this is actually for my maps and models and skins as well as sprites, and this is powered by Downloads 2. And this is actually quite useful if you have custom apps for your Half-Life 2, Team Fortress, or even your Counter-Strike or Battlefield maps. You can actually upload this directly to your site by using the special import tool here. So let me just go to the control panel and I'll show you. Downloads 2 in Roman numerals. Here it is. And the best thing is that you can set some rules and making sure that you're aware that they've got the best antivirus in case one of our zips has got a virus. But of course you have to be very careful not to upload any malicious software or anything that might destroy your reputation by sharing these infectious zips. So if I just go to Counter-Strike here and give you a preview of some of the maps. Now this is a Counter-Strike source map, and the good thing is you can see the rating, but this is not rated yet. Say if I want to rate it 5 stars, you can do it like that. Just going to do it to myself. It gives you the rating and reviews, which is pretty neat, and it can also give you a snapshot as well in case you're not aware what the map looks like, since you're just given the download and being suspicious what it really looks like. This is what LEGO looks like here, and it's very useful for your guests and browsers to download the maps they want, especially if your game servers do not have fast download, because the problem without fast download that your players will have to wait longer to download the custom apps that is needed to load to their systems and their PCs that don't have the maps. Now the only thing I have to point out is you may have to add in extensions like 7-zips, all these sort of things, because some of these is not included. And also this thing here is the maximum bytes. Now this is round about 5 megabytes or 50 megabytes, but I've realised that most sites generally doesn't allow you to download or upload anything over 20 megabytes, because some of these websites are not designed to handle huge downloads or that, or should I say uploads when you're importing these things. But yes, that's what you have to do. In order to do that, you just add a new extension. Say for example you want to add in a 7-zip, you just put 7Z or 7Z like this here, and put in the maximum bytes you want to put in. As you can see there, that says in bytes. If you want 5 megabytes, that would mean 5 million in figure numbers. So there you go, that's equivalent to 5 megabytes, but it's not exactly 5 megabytes, because megabytes is roughly 1024 divided by that, so it's 500. That would convert into kilobytes. 5 million divided by 1024, that makes round about, let me just get my calculator. So 5 million divided by 1024, that's how much in kilobytes, which is roughly the same, but it's roughly under 5 megabytes. So that's what it is in kilobytes. If I divide that by that again to give you the proper megabytes, this is what I'll give you, but this will do for now, especially when you import small downloads. But there is another way you can import huge downloads. If I go to the import button here, you can actually upload it to your FTP. When you're using FileZilla or Core FTP, you can actually upload it to your website file data in your folder, and you have to make sure which directory that you uploaded it the maps into the folder, and make sure it's zipped, because if it's not zipped, because unzip files means it's uncompressed and it will use up your website space storage. So this is what you do, and this is giving you an example how to get your zips from there. If it's in the control panel, that's the sort of link you'd be. But if you put inside www and the folder's named import like this, that's what you have to do, that's what you have to type in. So that's another good thing you can do, which is pretty neat, you have to admit. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is Arcade. Then this is another one from vBadvanced, and this is called v3 Arcade, which is also from vBadvanced, which I'm going to show you here. Now this is it here. Now the good thing is you can get Flash games here, so I'm just going to go to there. Now this has around about 396 games, but when you install this Arcade at first, you'll probably get 4 or 5 games like Asteroids or Tetris, which is probably not enough, and some of these games may be too boring, and it's usually best to have a wide variety of games. So what I did was, if I just go to v3 Arcade here, what I did was, if you have a multimedia account, you can actually copy the API key and you can use it to browse and upload your games instantly like this. This gives you the browsing. That's a very useful tool. So if you want to know more about v3 Arcade, do feel free to look into this link here, and it gives you the information, and read the frequently asked questions and readme text files here. So at the moment I only have 396 games. If I add a couple more like Searching Rooms and Deilluminate, and press installed selected games and press import just to confirm it, then I go back to the site, but this time I'm going to refresh it. 396 becomes 398, and the games have been added on. But now this is arranged alphabetically, because you probably won't see those added to the top. But if I go to the new tab, there it is right here. So there you go, you'll be able to play it. And the good thing is, when you're signed up or logged in to this website, you can actually have your high score stored, which I have right here, and you can gain awards like trophies or medals for getting the high scores, which is very, very interesting, you have to admit. And it attracts your players by trying to compete who gets the best high score, and a bit of entertainment, so we can get a bit of dignity for our players, instead of having our website too boring as a boring bulletin board. And you can actually convert your bulletin board into a content management system with the portals and your downloads. In fact, you can do almost anything as long as you find the right equipment and tools. So what do you think of it? Now that is quite good. Now the other thing I'm going to show you is VB Experience. What is VB Experience? Well, it's actually like when you play Pokemon or World of Warcraft, you level up. Now this is what it's all about. If I just click onto my own profile, I'm just going to click on my icon here. Oh, no, it's this one here. Here it is. Just taking its time. Now if I go to this is my main profile, by the way. If you notice the Experience tab, when you install it, it actually shows you the amount of points you can get. This shows you how active you are, which is very, very useful to keep track of your members and your staff and seeing how active they are, and instead of having the last time they logged in, which you commonly get in most forums and websites. And it shows you the achievements and awards you get by getting points and being more sensible and active on your website. And that is a very useful tool to keep your players active and entertained. So let me just go to the main Experience main page here. Now this is it here. So this is experience, or VB experience, and it shows you how active your players are and how many points they have achieved. And it's very, very, very useful here. And it shows you which player is the highest ranks. Now the maximum level is 100, and I'm currently the top one, but some of my other members are busy with their personal lives anyway. And these are some of the words you would get, like posting the most, and ending the discussion well, etc., and being more active, and armour law. That's enforcing and keeping your website regulated against any threats or illegal materials or advertising websites that would affect this website, like inappropriate advertisements, these sort of things. And if I go to the achievements, this is the sort of things you would get, like how long you've signed up to. This is the sort of thing you would get, how long you signed up for. And veteran is when you spent a long time or been registered for a very long time, you'll get these sort of medals and awards anyway. And that is very, very useful. And this is the experience point you've got, and it shows you the milestones you've passed, and you'll get these special awards on your profile preferably, and that's quite useful. Now the thing you may want to ask, how can you get points? Well, if you click on this tab here, it shows you how you can earn points. Now I'm not going to show you too much detail, so something like posting, viewing threads, sticky threads, and getting so many likes, all these sort of things, and it's very, very useful. Now personally I don't have dislikes, and that's the sort of thing you would get on Facebook or some of these social networks that give you the likes or thumbs up, and you can do the same thing like this, and that is very, very handy for this sort of tool anyway. So anyway, that's all I'm going to show you, by the way. But before I go, there's some things I want to point out. Now sometimes when you add so many third-party add-ons, your database or your MySQL database may become unstable or even prone to get corrupted. Now the best thing is to find a reliable host that has the opportunity to do automated backups, like you can back up from a range from here to yesterday or even last week, as it keeps a auto backup system, as you want to call. Now some of these websites contain a modified cPanel that you get, and cPanel is only found on Linux CentOS, but this is not powered by Linux CentOS. But it does have a good tool that you can back up your SQL database. Say for example some of your data tables that you find on phpMyAdmin is missing or corrupt or broken. The best thing to do is back up or go back around about last week and collect the backup SQL database on demand before it expires by the end of the week, because otherwise you'll be feeling very stressed and your site will be under maintenance for a very long time unless you get the repairs and the backups in good hands and collected. So that's the best thing you should get. Get a reliable host that would help you back up your SQL data, including the posts and the sessions and information that you'll need for your website. Now however, if your SQL is very, very big or huge and it's around about over 10 megabytes, you're probably best to separate the data tables into bits, like ones or twos into threes, in case you get something like 16 megabytes. You have to split into twos into 8 megabits in each of those, because the problem is when you go to my PHP admin or phpMyAdmin, whatever you call it, it will not allow you to upload the SQL over 8 megabits, so you have to make them into smaller fragments, if you know what I'm saying. So that's all I'm going to say, and I wish you the best of luck if you're going to use these third-party add-ons, and make sure that you test these things before you apply them on your website, because that's the thing I would usually do when I test these sort of things, and make sure that your website's properly secure and organized, and make sure that the designs and the styles are very neat, and turn your boring bulletin boards into something a little more exciting like this. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.